Smiles, everybody. Welcome back for another exciting episode of Tea with Wash. We have our trusty kettle here. We're going to pour me a cup first, because I'm the captain of the ship. And my guest today is, she's going to tell you all about herself. It's hot. You've got your hand on the bottom of your mug. And who are you?
Amanda Gonzalez, Director of Development.
Oh, what is that? What is that? Well, I'm not the one asking questions. You know what? Let's not do that. I like to talk, and that's why they tell me I talk too much.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got some questions today. This is what we do. That people can ask me questions. If you have a question, drop it in the comment section or send it via email, and maybe we'll answer it one day.
And we're ready to go.
I hope so.
Okay.
But what do you have? Wait.
Which one are we?
We
What
have.
tea are we drinking?
This is passion. We've had this before on our first episode. It's orange peel, rose hips. Never heard of a rose having hips, and
Passion fruit
and hibiscus.
Ah.
It smells nice and fragrant.
A good midday tea, I think.
Cheers. Very good.
Refreshing. It would definitely taste better cold.
Who drinks cold tea unless it's like Lipton iced tea?
It's the summer.
I drink hot tea in the summer.
Well, not me. It's too hot. But anyway, we're going to go in with some questions that I have for you today.
Shoot.
There are three, which is perfect because our first question starts off with asking about three. So what are three skills that every young person should focus on for their future?
Number one is communication, both verbal and nonverbal. So being able to effectively share a message. The next is being comfortable speaking to a crowd or a group during a presentation, because at some point in your life, you will have to do that. And the last is financial literacy skills, because finances will be all across your life, in your job, in your home life, in your future, and in your legacy.
So something that Ty said before was, we'll first need the finances to become literate about them.
True.
So follow-up question, what would be kind of your maybe advice on young people getting their finances right?
So one thing that I always tell people is you don't need a credit card, never get a credit card, because most folks don't have the discipline to manage it the way it should be managed. So if you get a credit card, you need to pay it off immediately before the due date so that you don't get charged interest. The other thing is money you're going to need forever even after you stop working. So you should start investing as early as you can. I would say if you're young and you find out about it or you know about it, or if your parents don't know about it, as soon as you turn 18, start with as little as $50 a month, can completely change your life. And so while you do need money to put those practices in place, you don't need money to learn about those practices, but it helps to work on it. And so we have programs that will help you learn that before you start working. And we do a program where we hire young people so that you can make a little money.
Cash on the side.
Oh, cash on the side. I like cash on the side.
With that being said, I feel like a lot of, when you ask our kids now, the number one thing they're going to say to you is, what do you want to be when you grow up? They're going to say an influencer, a podcaster, anything tech, social media related.
Yes.
Right? So that brings me into my next question is, how do you feel about social media's impact on youth confidence?
That's a really interesting topic. And social media started a long time ago, even before Facebook, Instagram, and now TikTok, Snapchat, and all these different platforms. But ultimately, the downside is that the internet has become a place where people say anything and everything to anybody, regardless of how that person may feel or receive it. And so cyberbullying, threatening people, saying things that you wouldn't say to a person if you were sitting or standing right in front of them. And so that's the downside of social media. And that really impacts kids, because when you grow up, it's all about your parents. And as you get older, it's all about your social group. And so that online social group creates chaos that young people often don't need. And this is why we see rates of suicide going up and young people kind of getting involved in risky behaviors and these like trends. I forget what it was, like, where kids are like punching people for no reason, and
or
it just
sticking a fork in like outlets.
right, like, which is super dangerous. You can electrocute yourself. So that's the dangers of it. But social media can have a profound impact if it's used properly. So kids find their confidence sitting in front of a camera, being interviewed, talking about things they're passionate about. So it has great utility to be something very beneficial, influencer culture. All these kids want to have a non-traditional job now, but what they forget is to be Mr. Beast, to be Corey X Kinchin, Logan Paul, Jake Paul, you've got to work as hard as if you had a regular job. It's not, you just go viral once and everything works. These guys put in a lot of hours and time.
Not your average 9 to 5.
No. And sometimes you don't make money for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to be willing to grind. You got to be willing to maybe live in your mom's basement if she has one before the money starts to come out of it. But it can be fulfilling if it's what you love to do, and don't try to do it just for the sake of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like talking. I like talking to people. And if you don't enjoy whatever it is you're doing online, it'll be a failure, just like going to a job you hate. So find something you like to do, love to do, passionate about, believe in, and that can become something that can make your life fulfilling, regardless of how much money it makes or how little money it does.
And what would you say, like, let's say, right, one of our teens came up to us today and was like, listen, I want to become, a podcaster, social media influencer, what have you. But I want to have the correct financial literacy background and understanding
Mm.
to do so. What would you say to them?
I would
How would you
say
guide them?
I would guide them right to who I like to call, and I've never really talked about this online or but I would send them to Uncle Dave, and that's Dave Ramsey. He has a show called The Dave Ramsey Show, and he once made a lot of money in real estate, and then he went broke because the bank called back their loans because it was sold to another bank, and he had all his debt, and he had built his real estate empire at that time on debt. And so a lot of real estate investors, developers use debt as a way to finance projects, but you got to have a lot of discipline. It's not to say that they didn't have discipline, but if you have a loan and the bank goes through trouble and they need to call the money to get it back. So he developed this concept that I'm never going to use debt again and I'm going to save money. He has these things called the baby steps, which is like something basic. And if you read financial information online, like I think it's something like 70% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, don't have $1,000 to handle a problem. So his first thing is like save $1,000, and then if you have debt, pay all of your debt off, and then if you have a house, pay your house off, and then save for your kids' college. And so what I would do is very practical things like have a savings account, invest in your 401k plan, which is something that he shares with people as a part of the baby steps, because one of the things that you want to do when you're building something is have enough money to do it. So doing anything that's eventually going to get in front of tons of people, you're going to have to buy the camera. You're going to need a team. You're going to need people to help you, because you could theoretically do everything by yourself with a selfie stick or something. But after a while, when you want to transition, you need more people, and people cost
You
money.
need a team.
You need a team. You have to have a team.
So then my last question, kind of a fun follow-up question is, let's say, right, this room, this team, what would be a background sound that you would play?
We are the champions. I've paid my dues time after time. I've done my sentence and committed no crime. I think so. That song is like something people will play after they win a championship, and so really what that is that there's this work to be successful, to win, to become famous, or whatever it is. And so what we often see as people in consumers of media or entertainment is the end product of LeBron James being one of the greatest basketball players ever, or Jay Z being one of the most popular, richest rappers. Like there was a journey that started years and years ago, and then they burst onto the scene as this figure. But we forget that there's this hard work and this grind and this effort that it takes to get there. And so I think that's something that people have to remember, is that it's not a destination. Ultimately, we all will pass away, and that's the final destination for us all. But the journey of your life and the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows of your success, fame, and whatnot is an important process to enjoy as opposed to getting a certain thing.
And that sounds good. And that's our tea with Wash.
Is it? Boom! Hope you enjoyed. Sip your tea, feel good, feels nice in the belly, and we'll see you next time.